Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Success, Non-Classic. This is episode number 551 and Doubleshot number 456. Two Marvel trades. One is an X-Men trade. The other is a Star Wars trade. First up is Inhumans versus X-Men. Yeah, I think a lot of people will probably not be surprised. I'm going to give my thoughts on this particular crossover that happened just last year. This trade collects the entire event main series, which is just issues 0 through 6, written by Charles Shaw and Jeff Lemire, with artwork by Kenneth Rockford, Landon Francis Yu, and Javier Guerin. Kenneth Rockford does issue 0, Landon Francis Yu does issues 1 through 2 and 6, and 3 through 5 is done by Javier Guerin. Shaw writes the entire series. Lemire just issues 1 through 6. Now, Shaw basically, you have a writer of an Inhumans book and a writer of an X-Men book. Lemire was writing X-Men Gold, not X-Men Gold, X-Men Extraordinary X-Men. Shaw was writing Uncanny Inhumans. This is a crossover I think a lot of people expect to happen. But some people, like my friend Tibia, were not very happy that this event happened. Why? Because he didn't feel as though the event was necessary. And also, in case you wonder, there's actually one X-Men character who is completely absent from this crossover, and that is Laura, aka the old Wolverine. Yeah, she's actually, I think she's in the cross like 1 or 2 panels, but that's really it. But as for the event itself, well, this has been building at this point for 2 years. Yeah, this is what Marvel has been building to for 2 years. Having the X-Men and the Inhumans fight each other. So basically, Marvel is using an old trope they did for Avengers vs. X-Men. The only difference is this is 6 issues instead of 12, and there's 2 writers instead of like 5. Yeah. Also, I should point out though, the RIV, this particular vehicle that was used in the Inhumans series that Crystal had, yeah, it gets destroyed in this series. Yep, it's completely destroyed. So, in case you want to see that comic come back in, I highly doubt that's going to happen because the vehicle that was basically the main setting of the whole series was destroyed. And also, they have this new character pop up in here named Mosaic, because apparently, actually, oh yeah, we don't create new characters. We create new characters as well. So let's just create Mosaic, an Inhuman who briefly had his own ongoing series after this, who was probably by far the most boringest Inhuman I have ever seen. This guy possesses, basically his Inhuman ability is to possess people. Though that does come into play in this series where he possesses Cyclops. He just kind of joined the human side, but the reasoning for Inhumans fighting the X-Men is because of the Terrigen Cloud. They don't want to destroy it because it's sacred to them. That's why I think it's shrinking. And Moon Girl plays a part in here, working with Forge to build a bomb to destroy the cloud. Yep. Though I'll probably talk what happened afterwards after I finish reviewing this. This particular event, well, had the X-Men and Humans fighting back and forth throughout pretty much most of the series. Also having the royal family transport to Limbo for most of the series, though what happened in there. If you're wondering what happened with the royal family in Limbo, you have to read the Extraordinary X-Men you have to read the Uncanny X-Men tie-in. Yeah, the tie-ins do count for this one. With the exception of the tie-in for Deadpool and Merc's Money. Yeah, that has nothing to do with this event at all. But the tie-ins for the other series, like all 3 of the X books, and, well, Uncanny Inhumans, yeah, they do pretty much tie in. They do expand on what happens in here, which I do appreciate the fact they do that. Oh, and the main villain of this crossover, Emma Frost. And apparently, now, this was a question that was asked for a lot of people, like, who is this woman she's talking to? It's implied it's Dazzler, but they never show her face. The Dazzler herself does show up in the story, though she's used to take out Black Bolt. Oh, and by the way, what happened to his quiet room is Bar? No idea. Because After Black Bolt's taken from his bar is never seen again. Yeah. Though the Terrigen Claw is eventually destroyed by Medusa, she uses the device built by Moon Girl. Yep. A character plays a very little part in here. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and they have the Tower of Wisdom from the Karnak series pop up in here, and it looks completely different. It looks like a skyscraper for some reason in the middle of the desert, even though it looked much more grand in the Karnak series, which was a really good series by Warren Ellis. Just the only thing bad about the series was the fact it suffered through heavy delays for no reason. Yeah. Overall, this is a pretty good series. I'm gonna give this an 8.5 out of 10. Now, what happened after the series ended? After the series wrapped up, well, the last Inhumans title, well, Moving of Dinosaur continued, no problem, but there were several new Inhumans titles to launch in the aftermath of this. You have Royals, which Al Ewing wrote. You also have Black Bolt, and Secret Warriors. Yep, you have these three titles, along with a miniseries called Inhumans Once Future King, 8.5. Yeah. As of right now, Inhumans Once Future King, that was a 5-issue miniseries that since wrapped up. It was a good series written by Charles Shaw and artwork by Phil Noto. Excuse me. As for the other three books, well, crap. Royals and Secret Warriors both ended after only releasing 12 issues, though Royals ended first, then Secret Warriors. Yeah, Royals ended this past December, and they did release a one-shot that kind of concluded the story that they were telling for Royals, which had the royal family go to space to get new Terrigen crystals and go to the homeworld of the Kree Empire with Marvel Boy. Though Black Bolt is not in this series. He's in the series for the first issue, but he gets spun off his ongoing series. His series is going to end after 12 issues. So the three new titles that the Inhumans had for launch in the aftermath of Inhumans vs. X-Men, all three have since been canceled. After only releasing 12 issues. In the case of the X titles, there was a bunch of new titles. Now, they did keep two titles around. They kept around Old New Wolverine and Old Man Logan because, well, they're really good titles. Old Man Logan, I think they kept around because of the Logan film that came out last year. Old New Wolverine because, well, it's a popular series, so keep it around. Deadpool is in his own world. So, new titles. X-Men Gold, X-Men Blue, Weapon X. Yeah, these three titles will launch within like the first month. Weapon X is a monthly title, while Gold and Blue are bi-monthly titles. Solo books. Well, they did launch at least, off the top of my head, I think they launched three new ones. They launched Cable, Jean Grey, and Iceman. Yeah, they launched those three solo books. As for the three solo books together, two of whom have since ended. Jean Grey ended after releasing 11 issues. Iceman ended after 11 issues. And of course, Jean Grey was later replaced with X-Men Red, which was launched in the aftermath of a recent miniseries called Phoenix Resurrection: The Return of the Adult Jean Grey. If I get into my trade, I will give my thoughts on it. It's a really interesting story. But the X-Men have had a really good, let's say, good nostalgia trip. Weapon X, before they had the cross with Totally Awesome Hulk, if you read like the first trade, you kind of feel like, where is this series going? And then like right after Weapons and Mutant Destruction, it feels like the series is purpose now, though the series is supposed to set up a spin-off book called Weapon H, though we haven't heard a release date for it because of the whole more fresh start thing. But the X-Men have had a good amount of success afterwards, while the Inhumans, well, as of right now with Black Bolt ending, there's only two Inhuman titles left. Miss Marvel and Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur. That's it. There's only two left. Sad that these two titles are the only ones left because the other three books were really good. Secret Warriors, I didn't know the series was ending until, well, they released the final issue, and of course Marvel slipped up in this one because lately they've been announcing the release, there was an article released online that this particular series is ending. Secret Warriors, the arc wasn't released until the final issue came out. Yeah, this series had no reason to end at all. It was a great title. Royals was a great title as well, though the storyline was wrapped up in Inhumans Judgment Day one shot, which was really good. Excuse me. As for Black Bolt, his solo book is also really good as well. His book, I don't really get a why in the world the book got canceled for. It's a good book. He's the second one of the royal family who got his own solo book. He's the first one since Karnak, but he does something with Karnak. The fact his book lasted for 12 issues instead of 6, and it wasn't delayed like Karnak was. So the X-Men have had a much better amount of success after the events of Inhumans vs. X-Men. While the Inhumans, apparently they're not selling much anymore because Marvel just I think Marvel's tired of pushing them. But yeah, moving on. Next up is the Star Wars trade. Captain Phasma, collecting the 4-issue miniseries written by Kelly Thompson and artwork by Marco Chesido. Yeah, that issue does the interior artwork. The cover artwork is done by Paul Renand. Yeah. Now, the thing with this series is it simply put what Captain Phasma was up to between the events of Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Yeah, because if you watch The Force Awakens, she gets thrown down the trash compactor. When she gets out of it, gets on a TIE fighter with a pilot, goes to find this lieutenant guy, even though she apparently blames him for bringing down the shield, even though she did it in the film. And it feels like the series was a bit rushed. Yeah, the artwork is great. It's a pretty interesting story, but I kind of felt as though that the series was very rushed. That was the problem. It was a very rushed series. It felt like a good amount of pacing for the first 2 issues, and then okay, you have her put on this strange armor, and then next issue 3, poof, she's back to her own outfit for no reason, and the book just had to abruptly end just 2 months before the release of Last Jedi. I kept thinking though, couldn't they have this series last for a little more than 4 issues? It's kind of the same thing with Shattered Empire. Yeah, it's the same thing with that one as well, where it was a 4-issue limited series, and I kind of felt this is the series should have been longer than 4 issues, especially since it picked up right after the events of Return of the Jedi. This one is kind of the same thing, where this one, even though there's not much time between Force Awakens and Last Jedi, but you could tell more of a story. I mean, there's nothing wrong with how Kelly Thompson writes this series. It's not the problem. The problem with the series is its rushed pacing. Yeah, that's just the only problem with it. And I have nothing against what Kelly Thompson did with Captain Phasma in the series, despite the fact that what she did was completely in character of what she's known for doing. But for the new character introduced in the book, okay, so she's not in the film, so let's just have her get killed off in the final issue, along with a BB droid. Okay, yeah, and apparently this pilot was actually was part of the big group of TIE fighters that was launched against the Resistance X-wings, but because her ship was undergoing repairs at that point, that's the reason why she got involved. But it's not a bad series, not to say. No, it's just the problem with this thing is it's its pacing. It just feels very rushed. That's just the problem with the series. It's a well-written series. Kelly Thompson does a fantastic job. It's just the problem with the book is its pacing. But despite that, it is a good series, and I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I would give it a 9.5, but the pacing holds it back from that particular rating. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything else related to that book? No, that's really it. She does find Lieutenant she's after, and she kills him. Apparently, the pilot witnesses it, and first she destroys baby droid, then she kills the pilot really quickly, and then she just flies back to General Hux' ship, and he's kind of like, "Where you been?" I'll explain in my briefing. I found the traitor and I killed him. Fine, good. Whatever. Yeah, it's just like Hux is like, okay, you're back. And you want to go back to your vision? He's like, sure, why not? That's what she's like. Yeah. Okay, ending to the series. Otherwise, though, that's it for this particular episode. Stay tuned for episode 552 and Double Shot number 457, 58, where I'm talking about 2 more Star Wars trades. Okay? One of whom was written by a woman. Yep, you'll find out which one it is next episode. Okay? But until we see you there, bye.